Very important is sense of achievement. And to derive at a sense of achievement, it must be some challenges, right? If you achieve something very easily in a comfort zone, then the sense of achievement will very much less. Right? A vintage car or classic car by itself is old technology. Don't talk about the degree of comfort, even the level of reliability is not there. So the biggest challenge is to keep the car going on the road. Now for taking part in the rally, first is because it's long distance. You're looking at 9 to 10,000 up to 15,000 kilometers at one go, right? Continuously, you don't stop. You have to complete the whole journey, right? And and you do not go on highways. You go into mountain roads, country roads, and there are challenges along the way. There are competitions to make the rally interesting. Now, even using new cars, modern car, you may not be able to complete that, right? So when you can drive a vintage car or classic car to complete the car rally, the sense of achievement is fantastic, right? I take it like it's like philosophy of life. When you set an objective, you go all out for it. So in our case, if I join a rally, I want to finish the rally, and you don't just do it by blind passion that I want to do it. You have to do preparation. You have to do a lot of attention. You have to envisage what are the potential problems. This is very similar to whether it's a social life or business life. When you want to achieve something, you must do preparation. You must do work. And so this fits into my corporate experience. So I enjoy challenges. When you want to take part in the rally, first you must know what terrain that the car is going to go through. Normally the organizer will let you know. For example, when in the case of Sahara challenge, we are expected to pass through a portion of the Sahara desert, which is going to be dry, soft sand. So you are not just driving a vintage car, you also almost driving it like a four-wheel drive. I had four-wheel drive experience because I'm a geologist. I used to drive four-wheel drive in the bush. So that experience counts. So if you know the terrain, then you must prepare your car according to the terrain. What tire we use, if you have a choice, what pressure to use, the water, what are the likely problems, overheating for example, bog down, you get stuck in the sand, how do you come out? If you go to a certain rally that you got to cross rivers, you must prepare yourself how you cross river. You do not make a mistake or what dramatic picture, crash through river, you never do that. You have to drive in a very slow and steady speed. That means you must prepare your car to waterproof your electricals, right? Or similarly, if you go to bouldery ground, you expect a lot of boulders, you must put in the brush plate. You don't want rock to hit your oil sump and you bleed your oil dryness. So this is what I call preparation. The rest is basic, which is you make sure your engine runs well. You better open up engine, check the piston ring, your push rod, your valve settings and all. Suspension is very important as well. I think rally is a very, very good experience. First, you demand full cooperations between the driver and the navigator. To complete a task, you need 100% cooperation. The navigator has to go through the route book, make sure that all the reading is correct and give the exact instruction. The driver to make sure that he drives according to the road instruction and also according to the speed and maintain the car well. So the sense of cooperation between two parties over a long period of time, extended to 3 weeks to 4 weeks, it's a very good experience. It's either you can work together or you break off very quickly. So this is the first thing I noticed in the rally. I've never taken part in a rally prior to Trans-America. I mean, I've done through a lot of drives, all self-driving, right? This time we had to go strict road book, that kind of thing. The second thing that impressed me was most of the participants were of senior people, right? They are senior in age, like their cars, of course. And when I went to Trans-America last year, I was 59 years old, and I brought my son, Eric. So I was quite proud, I'm quite my age, I can still drive the kind of distance. Then I met a fellow rally goer, Alistair. Alistair Cotwell was a former team manager for McLaren in the 1970s. Alistair was 75 years old, Oh, I respect him. 75-year-old going to go for 9,000 kilometers Trans-American Rally. So I'm 59. I brought my son. He's 75. You know who was his navigator? His mother.
Oh my! How old is she?
He brought his 95-year-old mother to be his navigator. Now that gave me a lot of inspiration. Compared to him, I was a baby, right? So at that age, she could endure through the journey and go through the navigation process. Even sitting through 9,000 kilometers for a 95-year-old lady is too much in an old car. So I respect that. Therefore, willpower is very important. If you have passion, your willpower, you will build your body to attune to that, so that a person do not feel wasteful after retirement, 60 years old, you feel you're wasted. No, you have 30 more years to do it. And that is the biggest inspiration I have. Along the way, mechanical problem, this and that, is depend on your ability to plan. Both Eric and I, our team won the Spirit of the Rally award at the end of it because we were unprepared. Our car was as stock original as anybody else. Not unprepared with no rally preparation. We have heavy loads of spares and parts and all. Now we survived the whole journey. We have a lot of breakdowns along the way, but we were always able to start every day according to the time, because earlier I had made my logistic planning that when things break down, I have contacts that I can call that can send spare parts to me within 24 hours in America. So they totally respect me because you don't expect to get spare parts in 24 hours for an 83-year-old car, right? But we did that. So logistic planning is very important, just like life as well. You may think that you are doing something blindly, but no, you are actually planning behind it. So this is where taking part in a rally like this gives a person more insight into how you face. You don't know what's the road going to be in front of you because you've never been there, but you solve problem as it comes, and yet you are prepared to solve problem. So it's just like life. In Trans-America, one thing that the first hit us was we were happily cruising at about 95 km per hour on the highway to Montreal, and looking forward to take part in a circuit, in IndyCar circuit that could run 2 rounds, you know. So for Oka, it's very exciting. And earlier in the day, we have just scored the perfect score of 0 in regularity, which is supposed to be top in the Oka, like that, no experience. So we're very happy. Suddenly, the push rod broke. So 2 of our piston cannot work. So we had to stop the car, and I was very worried that we may have to pull out of the journey. That is the biggest disappointment. But ultimately, we have a support crew. The official support crew came, and what they did was disconnected two pistons, so we could continue running with 4 pistons. And we went on, so we bypassed the special stage, and we drove direct into America. And we were the last one to cross the border. Therefore, we just have to reach the destination without taking part in the thing. We have about 3 hours of drive. It became a very happy drive because very leisure. We can go along and enjoy the scenery, and suddenly your feeling, your emotion went from very down to very up. So it is a very very exhilarating, very interesting experience. When we reached the final destination, the barbecue was just going to be over. Everybody stood up. We have a standing ovation. That's why I make a speech in that dinner. I said, we are in the endurance rallies organized a Trans-American rally, so we must endure problems. And everybody gave us a standing ovation and applause. And that is something, the highlight of the day. First, you have to acquire a reliable vintage car or classic car. Then you must prepare the car according to the demands of the rally. But there are 2 different types of classic car collectors. There's one type group for concours. They go for a beautiful thing. They want to try it because they treasure the car so much. All right. And there's also a type like me where we own something we want to enjoy and use it. All right. So it's totally different mentality. So if you want to take part in a rally, you must be able to have technical support, either your own workshop or a friendly workshop to support you to prepare your car. And you cannot feel sayang that your your car is going to break down, this and that. And some people say crazy, you take a $3 million Bentley and run in the Malaysian oil palm estate. No, it's just how they enjoy. So the advice is that you can buy the cheapest Mini, or buy an MG or whatever, but you prepare it ready, you still qualify. But more importantly, the car must be prepared according to the terrain, and you must, if possible, form a team whereby you can both can switch as driver and navigator, or you can designate one driving and one as navigating. It must work as a team, must learn, practice. So if you want to take part in rally, you've got to go to all this preparation, read more about it. So this is my advice. Other than that, just driving skill and mechanical knowledge.
What happens with this rally is that with this company, Enduro Rally, everything is arranged very nicely. Everything is done beforehand. So a number of years before the rally even happens, they are in the countries that you're going through, driving on the roads, looking at and seeing what is the route that they want to do. So in the beginning, they give you a book. This is the route book. It has every single road that you're going to be on, every single instruction from the start to the finish. So as the navigator, I am in charge of the route book, I'm in charge of the time book. What happens is that when we get into the car has a trip meter, and this gives us the distance from the starting point. In the route book, what happens is that you have tulips and a distance. So basically you have a distance to the next intersection or the next event, the next tulip, and what will happen there. So for an example, I might be like 4 kilometers and then we turn right at an intersection. 3 kilometers and then we turn left. This might sound easy. It might sound easy. And sometimes it is very easy. Like when we were in North Dakota and the instruction was, okay, we're going straight for 300 kilometers. I was like, okay, yes, I can sleep. But when you're in a city, when you're in a town, and then you have 100 meters turn right, 200 meters turn left, you have very short distances, you need to look around to see where you're actually turning. And a lot of the times I have to be able to tell my dad, this is the road we're going. If he goes wrong, then we need to rewind the road book, we need to rewind the trip meter and try and figure out where we are. And that isn't fun. So it's very important for me to keep track of where we are, what the next instruction is, and letting my dad know we are turning soon.
So anyway, we just want to record our pride that we got a Malaysian, the only 140 cars, and the only one from Malaysia is Dato Hok, and that's why we want to give the recognition, and with this flag displayed all throughout the world, it's a good promotion for Penang. So we want to wish him safety, safe journey, and we want to hire him to come back in one piece. That's most important.